Call to order the regular city commission meeting for the city of Clewiston. Today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. The time is 5:04. If you would all stand and join us, Pastor Ramos is going to lead us in the opening prayer, and then we will do the pledge to the flag. Pastor Ramos.
Let us bow our heads and pray. Gracious and Heavenly Father, we come before you to express our thanksgiving for your many blessings that you bestow upon us, upon the great city of Clewiston. Thank you for the men and women, elected officials, and the people gather this afternoon to guide and to rule and to do the things that are good, right for the people that they serve. Deliver us from any self-ambition or anything that may detract from doing what is right and good for the people that we serve. Guide us and help us with your wisdom. And I pray for the family members of the elected officials that you also, as they serve, you may bless and protect. So many evils are encircling us. Protect this city from harm and destruction and natural disaster. Give us your blessing. And we pray all these things in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Ramos, thank you very much for coming and representing the Ministerial Association. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Morton, additions, deletions, changes?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, as I mentioned to each of you previously, I would like to recommend that we remove from the agenda item 7, Resolution 2021-100, and we'll bring that back at a later date.
Yes, we're going to remove item 7. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Gardner, second by Pittman. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on. At this time, anyone who would like to make any public comments in reference to anything that's on the agenda are more than welcome to come up and be heard.
Only just what's on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Any other comments?
Did you have something else? Did you?
Yeah.
Come on.
I just wanted to ask about the railroad crossings that's being repaired, like at fairgrounds and all. Mm-hmm. It seems that it's a lot worse than it was, and I was wondering what was going on. We seem to have a problem with these railroad crossings around here that some of them are pretty bad. They repaired the one down on this end of town, and it seems to be a lot better than it was.
And
This one down by the fairgrounds, if anybody's been across it lately, they'll know what I'm talking about. But
they were out there 2 weekends ago. I think it's September 10th through the 13th. They were out there working on that.
yeah, they worked on it, but it's worse now than it was. That's all I'm saying.
It's got quite a bump.
You know, I slow down about 5 miles an hour, so I don't care enough to go across it, but it just, they had the road closed for a while, and they was working on it a while, and now it's not very good, so
Thank you.
I was just curious about that.
I'm sure Mr. Martin can look into it.
Yeah, of course, U.S. Sugar, the railroad company, is doing them in cooperation with the county for the county road crossings. The ones they've improved thus far, I think, have all been county, W.C. Owen and Francisco and probably at least one other one. But they notices of them, but that's really the only involvement we have. I can communicate with them that there's concerns about the condition. I know the one they did at WCO, and I think turned out really nice, so they may not be complete with it.
And the one at San Luis.
San Luis is good,
Yeah.
and so I don't know if that one's just incomplete, but we'll pass on the concern.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was complete with it or not.
We'll certainly pass it on. Thank you.
Consent agenda. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Gardner, second.
I'll second it, but I have a comment. The mosquito control, was that the same price?
Yes.
See, we renewed that without a bid, so
Yeah, it was in the contract to continue it. This is last year, I believe, that we'll be able to continue it, but they did agree at the same price.
then the only other comment is the buildings that we lease. I just want to make sure we're bringing in enough income to maintain. I don't know what we spend on the maintenance. It might be something we want to look into to make sure we're covering the cost of at least maintaining the building. And I'm just under the assumption that they pay their own power and water and sewer. And
There's one exception in there. I've forgotten which one, but
I think that we worked out something with Hope Hospice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
on
the only
rent.
exception on the utilities.
I didn't hear, there was too many people talking.
Yep. You want to mention
one?
it, Kathy?
The lease with Hope Hospice on the senior citizens building, we pay the utilities up to a certain amount.
They pay it over that.
Is it-
So. Yeah, it's $1,500 a year.
We pay it.
You vote on that. You vote on to approve that.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's the only exception, and I think that's based on, but this year it's actually not even going to be 1,500, is that right?
Did you say the senior citizens building?
No.
That's
Oh,
the,
that's what I said.
It's
It's
not.
not,
It's-
okay.
it's the,
Senior citizen.
They pay their utilities,
it's the,
but they do have a
where the girls dance and all that.
discounted rate.
Yeah, that's the one where we pay a portion. Which one was that?
Clewiston Performing Arts.
That's the Performing Arts Center. That's the one I was thinking of that Sherry made me aware of. We pay a portion of that. And I assume the consideration when that was negotiated, I wasn't involved, was the service they provide is considered to be part of the leisure and recreation program. I assume that's the history of it. But
Yeah, and that was not on this consent agenda for tonight.
Right.
I believe we give them, I think, a $1,500
up to
credit.
credit up to that. This year it's not going to hit the credit, but it was less than that. But that's the only exception. Sorry about that.
Just thinking, didn't we check the utilities though on the senior citizen building to make sure?
Yeah, that they complied with the policy and
I thought we paid those.
I'll double check. I think we do.
There's something in the contract. I can't remember exactly.
we'll clarify and let you know for sure exactly what we do. But we're not proposing any change in it, but this is something that we may want to look at in advance of next renewal to see if you want to. We can do a comparison of the, and Danny can hopefully do an analysis of what dollars are involved.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
Motion by Gardner, second by Pittman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, moving on. Item number 2 is a public hearing. Ordinance number 2021-01. Ordinance 2021-01 adopts an amendment to the City of Clewiston Comprehensive Plan to change the text of the city's current 10-year water supply facilities work plan. Andy Tilton, the consulting engineer, presented the draft ordinance for review and recommendation by the city's Planning and Zoning Board. The zoning board met on June 14th. The vote was 3-0 to approve the ordinance. Board members Donahue and Hatham Kaki were absent. Commission approved the first reading of the ordinance on June 21st. We had our public hearing on July 19th. Public hearing and final reading of the ordinance was on August 16th. The City Commission continued to the public hearing and final reading of the ordinance to September 20th. Staff's recommendation is to continue the public hearing and final reading of the ordinance to October 18th to allow more time to receive comments from the review agencies. There is no financial impact. The recommended motion is to continue the public hearing and final reading of ordinance 2020-101 to October 18th.
So moved.
Motion by Gardner,
Second.
second by Pittman. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 3. Resolution 2021-96 approves the state-funded grant supplement agreement between the State of Florida, Department of Transportation, and the City of Clewiston earmarking additional funds for the C-21 Bridge project. The city and FDOT entered into a state-funded grant agreement on April 22nd, 2020, regarding financial assistance in the amount of $2 million to the city for the C-21 Bridge project. Per the House Bill 3781, $3,652,000 of additional state earmark funding has been programmed for this project for a total amount of $5,652,000. Financial impact is $3,652,000. Recommended motion is to approve the resolution 2021-96.
Make a motion.
Motion by Gardner,
Second.
seconded by Pittman. Discussion?
Can't wait to see the project done.
Understand. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item number 4. This is, go ahead, sir.
Excuse me, could we get a brief timeline from Andy?
Yes.
Just to kind of bring us up to speed of how long you think?
Good evening, Commission. The status of where we're at the moment is we've turned in 100% plans and calculations to the Florida Department of Transportation. They had a couple of questions on the structural calculations, which are being taken care of by the other consultant that's working on that. I hope within a week or two we've got that behind us. Every step we do with this, since they're guiding the funds, we need to get their prior approval. So the next step will be, we'll put together, or we actually have put together, and we'll get their approval to put it out to bid. But before we put it out to bid, we've got to work with the Corps and get their contractor moved out of the way so this contractor can work on the same piece of land. They don't allow 2 contractors on the same piece of land. They're afraid they'd fight. So, and sometimes they will, but
Sound like experience.
we anticipate by October or November that contractor will be moved off of that portion and we would be able to put it out to bid. So sometimes towards the end of this year, we anticipate putting it out to bid. Construction's anticipated about 6 months. Once it's bid and awarded and the contractor actually gets started. So sometime next year it should be completed. I don't have an exact date or schedule, but that's the steps that we have to go through to get to where we want to be, and that is to be able to drive across that bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is still an improvement because we weren't slated to get access to the area till 22, and so we should beat it by a few months. Anyway.
Correct. The Corps' contractor, their end date of their whole project is July of next year. And so if they didn't relinquish a portion of it and give us access, then we would not be able to start until after July of next year. So we might actually be done by July of next year if things work really well.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
How much of a concern do you have about the cost of materials? Has that seemed to have leveled off, or?
It's dependent on the type of materials. Wood has somewhat leveled off, although we're not doing much wood, although formwork. Concrete hasn't leveled off, but hasn't started coming back down again. It's still pretty high, at least in the jobs that I'm looking at. And much of this project is concrete. The walls for the MSE and the bridge itself are all concrete components.
And Andy, I know that the contractors will be going out and looking at subcontractors to work, but I'm hoping that they're going to be looking at our local businesses to meet some of those needs.
I imagine they will. There's actually contractors in the area that can do this work.
Okay.
And in fact, I anticipate at least one that I know of in Lee County that's actually was one of the ones that helped Pepe put together some concepts and things 5 years ago. Is very interested in it. And they're a small contractor and they need subs.
But on concrete, you can't take it, I know that with the Corps of Engineers, they've got batch plants or with their contractors that they're working from because of the fact that you have to have it within from when it's, I'm not an expert, but I just remember with the Corps that they were very particular about the concrete and how quickly they could get it and test it and all that. So there's some time involved.
For poured in place, yes, ma'am. Much of what this will entail, there'll be some poured in place, but the majority of it will be precast.
Okay.
And actually be cast in other locations. The beams will be cast in a yard that specializes in these beams.
Okay.
The MSE wall panels, mechanically stabilized earth. Those panels will get cast. One of the casting yards, and I don't know the contractor that wins this, which yard they'll use, but there is one in LaBelle that makes these precast panels. They've got acres, literally, of panels.
Precast panels.
For other jobs that they've already gotten awarded. So some of it could be local. The beams could come from the middle part of the state. I think it's in Bartow, there's a precaster that does this type of beam work. Now, yes, if it's poured in place concrete, you've got a travel time.
Right.
And so, yes,
It's a little bit different for
they'll buy
this.
it from a local supplier.
Okay.
They won't ship it
Good.
in from out.
Okay.
It wouldn't, the shipping would kill the material.
Right. Okay, good news. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. That's great.
Item number 4, resolution number 2021-97. This approves Amendment 1 to Loan Agreement WW260421. It's the grant agreement between the City of Clewiston and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. This is a state revolving fund loan project. Disbursements for Phase 2 of the inflow and infiltration program are complete. In order to close out the loan amount awarded needs to be reduced by $190,515, and the grant amount needs to be reduced by $152,412. The change in the funding amount affects other loan provisions, which are more fully described in the attached amendments. And Mr. Martin, I'm going to let you go ahead and give us the short version.
Well, the essence of this is we've completed the project, and Danny can, of course, answer any questions you have about the project, but the scope we've talked about previously for this phase of the work, Phase 2. But we got it in under budget, and so we're naturally lowering the grant amount we're going to receive and the loan amount, which is good news because we've now been, as I've notified you by mail, and we got documents on it today, we've been approved for Phase 3, and this will offset some of the loan amount dollars that we would have incurred here against that one, but in terms of the total that we'd have outstanding. But the good news is we've gotten a substantial amount of grant funding for that project that will be coming, and the attorney and staff will be working on having that for you at your October meeting to do. So this one is a reconciliation of the lower amounts to the agreement so that it matches up with what we actually did on the ground with the contractors.
And 0% financing.
Yeah, that's always nice. Danny, you have anything to add?
Nope.
Sherry?
Can't wait for the third one.
Anything you have to add? Okay.
Recommended motion is to approve Resolution 2021-97.
So moved.
Moved by Pittman,
Second.
second by Thompson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Resolution number 2021-98, it's the agenda item number 5. Resolution 2021-98 approves the loan agreement among FMPA, the Florida Municipal Power Agency, as the agent for the initial pooled loan project in the city of Clewiston, Florida, and the First Horizon Bank. This is dated September 30th, 2021. This will finance and refinance all or a portion of the cost to install and implement advanced metering infrastructure, AMI, within the city electric utility system, including technical assistance for the pre-project design and provider selection, replacement of electric meters with smart meters, and 1 year of service cost for maintaining the AMI to pay the closing costs associated with establishing the tax-exempt loan. Loan has a term of 10 years with an interest rate of 1.77%, semi-annual payments in the amount of $51,435.45 will be paid each year until the year of maturity, with the final payment in the amount of $541,693.69 due on October 1st, 2031. At the end of the 10 years, the city has the option of refinancing the remaining balance or to pay off the loan outstanding at that time. We anticipate setting aside the necessary funds annually to accumulate sufficient funds to completely pay off at the conclusion of the 10-year period. City attorney and the FMPA bond counsel are doing a final review of the agreement document. The final agreement and city resolution upon approval for the city attorney will be made available with any revisions noticed. Financial impact is $1,350,000. Recommended motion is to approve Resolution 2021-98.
And you have the updated documents before you.
Correct.
And
So moved.
Moved by Thompson, second by Pittman. Discussion?
I know it's been a long time, but we've been working on trying to get this done, and I just really, again, am thankful for the team that we have in place that just took, especially with FMPA's help, to review everything and to make sure that all our T's were crossed and our I's were dotted, and that it's the right time. So I'm excited to see this happen for our community.
I'm glad for Danny, too. He came here with a vision. And when you first got here and shared a lot of those visions, I was thinking, boy, where are we going to? And you don't give up. You are like a little dog with a bone, and you just keep till you get there. And I appreciate your tenacity.
Great leadership.
Amen. I can't leave Mr. Martin out of that. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? We have a motion by Thompson, second by Pittman. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay? Hearing none, motion carries.
if I could give you
Yes,
a
sir.
quick update, I'd also like the attorney to comment on any aspects of this that he worked with, if you have any, Gary, on the agreements and your relationship with FMPA and working through this.
FMPA, as always, has been great. They also have a relationship with a fabulous Manhattan law firm, Nixon Peabody. Their lawyer was just great on working through all this and really helping me out on a lot of these issues. So thanks to them.
Thank you, sir.
If I remember correctly, we heard that you did an outstanding job on these contracts, and so thank you.
Yeah, I think I
Thanks.
slipped that out, but and I agree. Our attorney bird dogged it very closely, as well as the staff, Lynn, Danny, Sherry, all of them, and the FMPA folks were really good at working together on bringing this to closure. The other part of the puzzle, of course, is funding the water meters, as we discussed during the budget workshop, but I'll announce it publicly tonight. Today, Sherry received a check for a little over $2 million, as expected, from the state through the American Recovery Rescue Plan funding from the Act of Congress that passed earlier this year. And that's half of our funding, and that is more than ample to support the water portion of this. And that's that's what we'll be doing, is using those funds to pay the water portion in cash, no borrowing, which is really good news for the water and sewer fund, as we discussed during the workshops. And
For the,
so,
and for the city taxpayers, that's fabulous.
it is
Yes.
wonderful.
A blessing.
So all meters, water, sewer, water and electric, will be updated, and sometime in '22 we'll finish this up.
streamlining.
And I think one of the most important things for the community, and I know that through this process, is the communication of what we're doing every step of the way, so that everybody's aware of it, so that, there's no surprises. So I know that that's part of the process, and through AMI to get that information out. So.
All right, moving on. Agenda item number 6, Resolution 2021-99. This approves the ranking of the selection committee and authorizes the negotiation of contracts with selected companies for disaster debris removal and disposal services. So responses to the RFP were for disaster debris removal and disposal services were received by Hendry County in August of 2021. 12 firms submitted proposals. Selection committee met on August 16th, 2021 and August 17th to listen to presentations from the proposers, discuss the proposals, and rank the proposals that were submitted. The RFP was divided into 4 zones. The city of Clewiston is Zone 1. Each local government intends to award a primary and a secondary contractor. The selection committee recommends the commission authorize a contract with the following for Zone 1. D&J Enterprises as a primary contractor for right-of-way clearing, debris removal, including leaners, hangers, stumps, management and operation of debris management site, and emergency road clearing. The second on our list is KDF Enterprises. It's a secondary contractor for right-of-way clearing, debris removal, including leaners, hangers, and stumps, and emergency road clearing. Third on our list is Aftermath Disaster Recovery. It's a secondary contractor for management and operation of DMS, debris management site. D is the Aftermath Disaster Recovery Testing Contractor for emergency road clearing, right-of-way clearing, and debris removal, including leaners, hangers, and stumps. And the last one on our list is KDF Enterprises as a testing contractor for management and operation of debris management site. We don't know what the financial impact is going to be. Let's hope we don't find out this year. Recommended motion is to approve Resolution 2021-99.
So moved.
Moved by Pittman, second by Gardner.
Okay.
Discussion?
Are these companies going to be testing their own work?
No, they'll alternate. That's why we have 2. They'll each test the alternate.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Martin?
After you vote, I would like to make a comment.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Of course, as the mayor pointed out, we hope this is a contract we never use, but unfortunately we have in the past and will again, I'm sure. But this will cover us for the next period of years. The current contract expires this year. I really appreciate the collaboration we had with our partners in the county and LaBelle, and DOT participated as noted in the documents from the county that are enclosed. I enjoyed participating in this, although it was very arduous. We had 12 firms competing for this business this year from several states. And I feel really good about the ones that were selected. None of them have been used in this county previously, but they all, the successful ones and several of the others, utilize local resources when they come in, because that's obviously a portion of their response, is to elicit and utilize any local resources that meet their qualifications and requirements. But this will cover us and going into the next cycle, and hopefully we'll not use the ones we got this year going through the rest of this cycle, as was noted. I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any others, but I think this is the right move. We'll all have the same contractors countywide with varying degrees of responsibility based on the zones as laid out in their contracts. We'll bring the contracts back once they're negotiated, and that would be the formal action of the commission at that time.
Thank you. Agenda item 7 was removed. we have any questions on our completion list? Any questions or comments on the budget report?
I have just a comment on the old police station building across the street, if we made any headway there.
No, we've been a little distracted with budget, but now that we're through that, I do intend to get an evaluation done by a professional of the structure, and then put together some options for consideration and make a recommendation on next steps once we get that evaluation on the structural integrity of the building, to make sure we know what the challenges are, if any, and go from there. We have completed an interior cleanup of the facility recently. I appreciate the police department and Public Works collaborating on that and finalizing everything out of it. So we're in a position now that we can consider a full range of options for future uses of the facility and the property. And as soon as that evaluation is done, I'll come back to the board and let you know the results.
And Randy, I also think that it's important that the city of Clewiston wrote out a grant agreement request to the state of Florida based on the non-usability of that building and of the safety and soundness of that building, and that we put our signature as a city of Clewiston that that building was not usable. And I would be very concerned that if we turned around after receiving grant funding for another facility, that it would make us liars as a city, that we asked for funding for a facility that could still be used in the future by the city. I'm very concerned about that. So I think that those are some of the things that we need to go back and look at to make sure that the city is not gave false information in receiving grant funding.
We certainly will review that. I've heard some of the feedback on that, and the evaluation would be, in my opinion, it couldn't be used, and I think it would be accurate for an emergency services building. Whether it could be used for other uses, storage, other potential uses or not.
I think we need to go back and look at it, because they were saying that it's a totally non-usable building because of what happened during the hurricanes in that facility.
And that's what we'll want to evaluate, and obviously comply with whatever agreements and commitments the city made. But and I haven't done that yet, but that'll be part of the evaluation, is to look at our obligations and commitments. But the only uses, in my opinion, that could be made would be non-emergency. And then it may not be practical. We'll see what an integrity evaluation shows. But if some portions of the building can be salvaged, it is a metal structure on a concrete slab, so it's very possible that some aspects of it can be salvaged and put to some other use. The alternative, of course, is to replace it for some future need, or hold the property or dispose of the property and let private sector use it.
I look forward to the evaluation.
Yes, ma'am.
Randy, I'm sorry. I have a question.
Okay.
We passed a lot of resolutions extending agreements and leases on buildings. Were you able to find the lease for the country club?
Yes, the clerk evaluated that, and I don't know that we didn't. Have we not reported that? It had been renewed. It automatically renews, as I recall. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
When was that date?
It was recent.
So,
If it's not,
Within the last year, for sure, yeah.
so if somebody don't remember it every 10 years
I think it's,
and ask to have it
I think
brought up?
Is it 5 or?
I think it's 5 years, every 5 years.
Yeah, but it was renewed. It renewed automatically, as we understand it, the way it's currently written. And
Why have a term if it renews automatically?
we have several of them that do that, I believe. I know that one does, and it seems like there
Kathy,
was
can
some.
you send me that lease and all the ones that renew automatically,
Yeah.
please?
I mean, we
I
have,
mean, we have a private club that pays $500 a month for a facility that's, in my view, charity, $500 a month. And it's in the dark where it automatically renews every 10 years. Something don't smell right with that at all. We have a whole book here that has to come up for approval, except for a private country club and our golf course. I don't know who in Clewiston think that's right. I don't.
Greg, don't forget the history of that property. They built that facility and then gave it to the city. And I agree that all the leases need to be looked at. And I think we talked about tonight the Sykes building, and we talked about the senior citizen, and I know CPAC was mentioned, and then you mentioned the country club. But I think, Gary, I think you're absolutely right. I think we need to look at all the leases and make sure that the city is covered, and we need to look at fair market value of things.
Agreed, but the difference is we voted on this.
Yeah.
They don't sneak past us.
Well, it depends on, I guess, whether the contractor, and you're going to look at that. So.
That's completely unjust, in my opinion.
Well, regardless of what the contracts say, we're over the contracts, the 5 of us. So I think all of them should come, whether they automatically renew or not. It needs to have the commission's blessing. And it needs to be transparent to our constituents as to, exactly how much is being paid and when it's being paid. So I would like to know when the exact month that was renewed automatically, and any other ones that may be coming up, hopefully not before our next meeting.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what if others we have, but it seemed like there was at least one other one. But we'll give it all to the attorney and give you a report.
Well, the attorney doesn't need to look up the dates.
Well, no,
We don't need to pay him to do that.
He wants to review them.
Come on. I got to make some money some way.
He's going to review them for their requirements, but we'll be glad to provide them to y'all, the list of them.
I would hopeful it didn't slip by between the last meeting and this one.
Oh, no.
That was earlier this year, I think.
I don't remember the date, but
Was there any more comments on the departmental monthly activity reports?
I have just one other brief comment. I went through the list again, and I saw some that are on there from January of 2020. I would like at the next meeting, whoever needs to, the staff, Debbie, Mr. Martin, go back and look at the dates on, if we're not going to do anything, let's just take them off the list and say we're not going to do it.
okay. You want me to update the list and give you a recommendation?
Yeah, just say,
Well, but if we have it on the list for a
year
reason, you're just asking for an update to make sure if something from January 2020 and we haven't addressed it, you want to know exactly what's going
well, I
on.
want to know if
Still
we're,
on there.
Or you don't want to just take it off. You want to know
Why
where
it's
we're at. Okay, I agree.
one of them on there was storm shutters. Okay, if we haven't discussed storm shutters since January of 20, let's just say we're not going to do it. Just say, hey, we're not doing it.
We're not doing it.
And then take it off the list. There's no sense in letting it ride on a list for a year and 10 months,
Okay.
9 months. But anyway, if y'all would look at that.
I'll give you an update on all of them.
Thank you. That is a continuing source of revenue for me. It comes up every 3 or 4 months, and I appreciate it.
I'll remember that.
Uh-oh. Bill's going to be scrutinized.
Any other comments on monthly activity reports? Mr. Martin? Do you have anything you want to share with us?
Yes, at the, I can find it back to the agenda. You have a copy of the information that was requested. There was some information requested regarding COVID-19, our agreement that we use, COVID agreement, if you will, or waiver document. I sent those out to you. The waiver document, you have copies here tonight, as well as through the end of the calendar year, the usage schedule that we have for the John Boy Auditorium and the Beardsley Room. Those are the only 2 facilities we're really leasing at this time. And you've got that. I think a member had raised the question of just reviewing that. I gave you my feedback in my update that I would recommend we not make any changes based on the current trends of more favorable than they were in terms of numbers declining. And we do have significant usage, and they all are signing the COVID waivers. So I recommend we continue to allow outdoor and indoor activities and continue to monitor the situation for the time being.
Thank you.
Be glad to answer any questions you have. I think that's the prudent thing to do at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Brandenburg?
Yes, thank you very much. With respect to item number 7, This particular item has come into a little bit of a red flag situation. So we had gotten a call that the purchasers wanted to assign the contract to OSGC, which you're all familiar with. We did another transaction with them, and that they want the contract closing date extended. And so we inquired why, give us a good reason, and we'll tell the city about it and see if they approve it. So we were going down that path, and we actually drafted the extension. That's on your agenda. When Dylan got a call from, I think it was Mrs. Schleck, right? Dana Schleck. And she said, hey, I'm the sole owner of Hollywood Beach Vacation Rentals, LLC. I don't want it assigned to anybody. I can't believe Oliver's trying to do that, blah, 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 blah. And so we put a hold on the contract, put it on hold. We had some questions before about this group, as you may recall. So and it's already past the closing date. We had told them, look, we will go past the closing date. We, meaning Randy and I, won't recommend that we keep your deposit or hold you in default until the extension is approved or not approved by the commission. So that's where we are on today's date. So I would suggest that you allow them 7 days, 1 week, till next Monday to close on that property. And if they don't close on it by then, under the existing contract, then we will hold them in default, keep their deposit, put the property back up for sale for somebody else. That would be my recommendation.
Do we need to do that by motion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So moved.
Me too.
So we have a motion to allow Hollywood Beach Rentals to have 7 days to close. And if they fail to close within those 7 days, they will forfeit their deposit and it will be relisted. All right. That motion is by Commissioner Gardner. Which one of you wants to be the second? I heard both of you.
Greg first.
Greg's the second.
Okay, Greg seconded. Any more discussion on that?
Only comment I would make, you are planning to meet Monday, and we believe, another Commerce Park good item on the agenda potentially. And so if we obviously get anything else, we can report it to you on Monday, what happens at that called meeting. And if I don't know that there would be any need for action with this extension that's being approved tonight.
This is pretty much cut
There
and
wouldn't
dry.
need to be any other action unless the attorney recommends something else next Monday. Yeah. Okay.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
That's all. Thank you very much.
That's all? Okay. Commissioner Gardner, welcome back. Do
Thank
have
you,
anything?
thank you. Tonight I just am thankful for our sweet town, and I just want to say that I would encourage everyone, anytime they hear that Henry Regional Medical Center is holding a fundraiser, to please participate. The men and women there, and I know I'm speaking from a personal level, amazing. I know that nowhere you go in town is it going to be perfect. I know that everyone's going to have a different experience, but I can tell you, as I'm sitting here, is that my experience from the minute I arrived there to the minute I left was outstanding. And I'm very thankful, and I just encourage the community as a whole, if there's any fundraising, whether it's a 5K walk, whether it's their annual fundraiser, whether it's a purse raffle, whatever it might be, to please, you'll never know if you or your family member might be the next one. Just participate. $25, or if you've got able to do it, $2,500, whatever it is, just participate in fundraising for them. Because one of the things I found out is that I only knew one CNA from childhood, and I didn't know everybody else, but when I talked to them, they were folks that grew up in our community, graduated from Clewiston High School, went on and got their nursing degree. and are here in our community. And one of the things that they do with the fundraising is that there's scholarships available, whether it's nursing or doctors or respiratory therapists, whatever it is. Those funds help grow our community and bring money back into building our resources. So just a word of encouragement for anytime you see a fundraising for Henry Regional Medical Center, please consider participating.
Good to have you back, Commissioner.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Anything else?
That's it.
Commissioner Thompson?
Once again, great things for Clewiston. I can't believe we got through this 20 pounds in 45 minutes.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Usually say one step forward, but I think this is 2 steps forward. Up and coming new, exciting things for Clewiston. Look forward to it.
Commissioner Pittman?
Just a comment. I know that we're reshuffling our public works and our directors for our utilities, and we've asked Mr. Martin to go ahead and proceed with the reorganization. I'd like to see, I mean, I know it takes time to do that, and I'm glad it does, because I think I have questions, and I hate to say do a workshop on it, but I'd like to see a flow chart, what it's going to cost, your anticipated cost of hiring an engineer, just those kinds of things before and I know you've already started making some steps, and that's fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying I'd like to see what you think it's going to look like at the end.
Okay. Good
We
idea.
really haven't discussed much about that, at least as a commission.
Be glad to provide that.
Want to see the pencil sketch before you see the paint.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's big, it's huge to
Yes.
and it may be something wonderful, and I think it can be, but I'd like to see a little more.
Be glad to. I have started working on it. No.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. No, I'm excited. We're having our fall festival. I saw that
Yes.
advertised. So,
Some things are starting to come back up on the radar again.
yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
I forgot one thing.
Oh,
He's not gonna,
Surprise,
he's not
surprise.
gonna like it, but I want to acknowledge the interim chief, with animal control. You know, when you need a coordinator to have to handle and manage all your volunteers, you're doing something right. And they're definitely doing something right in animal control.
a lot of them were out there on Saturday. The explorers were out there, the criminal justice students were out there, and I think we vaccinated
Quite a
318
line.
dogs and cats.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The chief made a presentation today at the Rotary Club, and one of the things he shared with the Rotary Club is that it's no longer animal control, it's animal services. So I think that's a good thing to be.
I forgot my one question I always ask now that is 120 days old. Are we covered when
Yes.
non-employees
Yes.
ride in our vehicles?
That was-
Okay.
Send us an email.
It was in the update, but if you hadn't seen it, yes,
must
and I'll be glad
skip
to
over.
give you any other information on it, but we did confirm that we are covered.
Okay, good.
You can strike that off your list.
I even said I was sorry for being so late in getting it.
Animal services, check, right along, check.
Amen, good. Thank you.
Is there,
Why it took so long?
is there anything you can share about a recreation director for our public to hear?
I made an offer and was convinced it would be accepted. It was not, and so I'm started over.
Okay.
Not started over, but back at it.
Okay, very good.
Still plan to fill it as soon as possible, but disappointed that it didn't work out.
Maybe a quick update on the youth center
Yeah,
renovations.
good news today. Contractors doing the small portion of the center roof, flat portion. Contractor started today and has the materials and should complete it in a couple of days. And that will allow them to begin the other interior elements that we're waiting for the roof to be complete. The leaking portion. The rest of the roof's in good shape far as we know. Hadn't had any problems with it, and we certainly would know it right now with all the rains we've been having. But he's planned to come in Friday and do it over the weekend, but unfortunately the rain deterred. So today he started. Don't know how far he made it, but he's expected to finish in the next 2 days, and then they're going to do the kitchen renovation area and the floors. Those are the two that we're waiting for the roof, because that's right over the kitchen area. And the floor contractor didn't want to start until he can finish the whole floor. And so that's the next piece. Our guys have been doing some smaller job items, but I plan on going through it again later this week and looking at it. But we're moving again.
I've heard from some people that the change is going to be absolutely stunning, and that you could tell some of those people have been watching HGTV renovations.
We've done a few things.
I'm glad that we're going to
It is going to be a
So-
significant change and a huge improvement.
Will we
in my
have maybe
opinion.
an open house or something
Yes,
to show it? Because I think that's,
We,
Yeah, I
want,
just-
we want to work with our partners and schedule something
ribbon
once
cutting or
it's
something to
complete. So
celebrate.
hopefully it'll be within the next 60 days, I would guess. I
Great
hope,
news.
unless some of the contractors we had a supply chain or two items issue on a couple of items, but other than that, most of the interior renovation should be complete in the next couple of months at the rate we're going now.
Great news.
Yeah, because some of our local business partners have really stepped up and made that
And they
possible.
and should
So
be acknowledged
they
when we
need
do
to be
that.
recognized.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we
absolutely.
do that. All right. Well, hearing nothing else from my fellow commissioners, do we have a motion to adjourn by Pittman? Second? Second by Gardner. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, no opposed. Time is 5:55. Meeting adjourned.
Gosh,
Can't believe we went